A very warm welcome to this week's final edition of Primetime News with me, your anchor, Michael Madimba. Leading tonight's bulletin. Health and Social Services Minister Dr. Kalumbi Shangula warned that at the rate at which COVID-19 positive cases are increasing in the country, Namibia will record 44,472 new positive cases and 1,308 deaths by the end of 2021. Our reporter LV Ayambo and camera person Josephina Simeon compiled this report.
Our nation has a stark choice to make. We must decide to change our behavior and outlook, collectively and individually, and take this pandemic seriously. Or we persist in the current way of doing things and face further pain, suffering, and death. The choice is ours. And I trust that, going forward, the nation will do the right thing. On our part as a government, we will not tire and will not relent in imploring the public to behave correctly and thereby suppress the spread of new infection and return our country to normalcy. Currently, new COVID-19 infections, hospitalization, and deaths are being reported daily almost in all regions around the country. As we all know, the current public health measures took effect on the 1st of May 2021. For the past 27 days, Namibia has recorded 5,497 new COVID-19 cases. This is on average of 204 cases per day. During the same period, 152 COVID-19 deaths were recorded, averaging 6 deaths per day. If this trend is not arrested, by a mere extrapolation, Namibia will record 44,472 new COVID-19 cases and 1,308 new COVID-19 deaths by the end of the year. The increasing number of persons experiencing severe illnesses means that space in our isolation facilities and intensive care units in both the public and private sectors are becoming full. The pressure on the oxygen supply infrastructure has also increased. It is therefore important that our people protect themselves from infections so that they do not become sick and ending up needing hospitalization. One of the important weapons in our arsenal against COVID-19 is getting our people vaccinated. Vaccination protects individuals against contracting the virus, protect those who have contracted the virus against severe illnesses, and minimize the occurrence of death. It is therefore critically important for all eligible persons to get vaccinated.
5 of our Herero traditional authorities have rejected the reported 19 billion Namibian dollars offered by the German government as reparation for the genocide it meted out against the Nama and Herero people. Edward Mumbu Jr. and Josephina Simeon have more on the story.
The letter signed off by the Maharero, the Raiwa, Kambedembe, Meriti traditional authorities and the Gam community leadership read that while they seemingly appreciate the German and Namibian government's effort to find a lasting solution to the first genocide of the 20th century through bilateral relations, the end result is not worthy of the paper it was penned on. During the negotiations, the letter reads, "We have remained resolute and steadfast with our government-driven process as mandated by the resolution of the National Assembly, and we have participated fully in the commitment of our government in finding an amicable solution to the plight of our people." The Namibian government briefed the chiefs through the Chiefs Forum on round 9 of their negotiation with Germany on 20th May 2021 that an amount of 1.1 billion euros, approximately to 19 billion Namibia dollars, was earmarked as a reparation fund for 30 years. What irks the chief is that for far too long, they've been kept in the dark about the nitty-gritty of the deal, saying it has been shrouded in secrecy. The leaders also accused Germany for treating the Herero and Nama communities as subhuman. In their submission, the traditional leaders also proposed that the Nama and Herero people who were replaced and find themselves in the diaspora must benefit from any form of reparation. They proposed for an impact assessment, monitoring and evaluation to be conducted as part of the reparation to allow for a window of improvement and recommitment. Josephine Simeon, Nampa News.
Employees of the Namibian Broadcasting Corporation (NBC) say though they are ecstatic to return to work, they are not entirely happy with the agreement reached by their union and their employer, which led to calling off the strike. The NBC strike, which started on the 22nd of April 2021, officially ended on Wednesday after the Namibia Public Workers Union successfully negotiated with NBC on some of the workers' demands.
Speaking to Nampa under anonymity on Wednesday, an employee at NBC said through the strike, employees were crying to government not only for financial assistance, but also for structural assistance. However, some of their plights were not heard. He said he is skeptical about the permanent employment offered to staff currently employed on contract basis, adding that permanent employment without any benefits is the same as taking a short-term contract and turning it into a long-term contract. Nonetheless, he believes that something has been achieved through the strike, as a light has been lit on issues within the national broadcaster, expressing hope the strike was not in vain. Another employee shared similar sentiments, saying she feels that NAPU has failed them as workers. She said she is happy to now be a permanent employee, but at the same time feels that negotiations were done in bad faith. In an interview with Nampa on Wednesday, NBC Workplace Union representative Daniel Nadunya also agreed, saying some workers still feel let down. Despite the views of the employees, NAPU, in a statement issued by Secretary General Pietrus Nevonga on Wednesday, said the petition delivered to Prime Minister Sarah Kuhongelwa Amadila earlier this month yielded good results, and in that the NBC subsidy could now be reviewed and improved to enable the corporation to operate optimally. Josephine Simeon, Nampa News.
Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security Minister Dr. Albert Kawana on Thursday said that there is no secrecy surrounding the boundary treaty signed between Namibia and Botswana in 2018. Kawana, who was speaking during a press conference in the capital, said the consultation were made prior to the conclusion of the treaty between the two nation states. Josephine Simeon produced the story.
Some sections of our population, especially in the Zambezi region, are alleging that there was no consultation prior to the conclusion of the boundary treaty between Namibia and Botswana. In order to clarify the issue, it is important to inform the nation that prior to the conclusion of the aforesaid treaty, the government of the Republic of Namibia and the government of the Republic of Botswana entered into an agreement known as the Agreement between the government of the Republic of Namibia and the government of the Republic of Botswana regarding the establishment and the terms of reference of the Joint Commission of Technical Experts on the delimitation and demarcation of the boundary between Botswana and Namibia along the Kwando-Linyanti-Chobe River, referred to here as the Joint Commission, signed by the contracting parties on 24 November 1999. And this agreement was signed in Botswana. The main purpose of the Joint Commission was to delimit and demarcate the boundary between Botswana and Namibia along the Kwando-Linyanti-Chobe River in terms of the Anglo-German Agreement of 1st July 1890. So, there are two things here in terms of our Constitution. The President can negotiate and sign, but subsequently to that, then the National Assembly, not the Parliament, meaning now here, it excludes the National Council. The National Assembly must agree to the ratification. Therefore, in compliance with the constitutional requirements, the National Assembly on Tuesday, 12 June 2018, unanimously, and I want to underline this word, unanimously agreed to the ratification of the boundary treaty. It is clear, therefore, that from the beginning to the end, the process was transparent and in line with the letter and spirit of the Namibian Constitution. There is no such thing as a secret treaty that was entered into by the Namibian government with the government of Botswana.
Your top roundup is up next. Leading tonight's business and economics news. August 26 Manufacturing and the Namibia Food and Allied Workers Union, NAFAO, signed a recognition and procedural agreement on Thursday. Selma Shiwaya and Perirwa Koruhama filed this report.
Thank you very much for us to be accorded an opportunity today to reach this milestone whereby we reduce our relationship into signing a recognition and procedural agreement. So we are really so excited to have signed this agreement today, which will direct us in terms of meetings, in terms of wages, and so forth and so forth.
Tawana added that the union is looking forward to building harmonious labor relations with August 26 Manufacturing and will strive to improve the living conditions of its members through wages and conditions of employment. Additionally, Tawana called on government to relax the COVID-19 measures from 22 hours curfew time to 00 hours, stating that the tourist and hospitality industry is bleeding to the core, and that most of the workers have lost their jobs. At the same occasion, August 26 Manufacturing Managing Director Ndapewa Hangula welcomed the opportunity to formalize the agreement with NAFAO, stating that it will ensure that the workers are well taken care of and represented.
Us as a company and management, we appreciate our biggest asset, which is our employees, our staff members, and we are in agreement. And we appreciate this opportunity because we do value our workers, and we do value their voices, and we do value them as contributors to the growth of this company. And that is why we are sitting here today to really formalize this relationship, and we hope that it is a start of a good relationship, a relationship that is going to be well maintained and take us forward or move us forward both as a company and as people that represent the company.
The Ministry of Mines and Energy today announced that fuel prices in Namibia will remain unchanged for both petrol and diesel for the month of June. Suzith Chitaura and Eska Kamanya have more on the story.
Senior Public Relations Officer in the Ministry, Andrea Simon, in a media statement said, the current fuel review has under recover of 49 cents on petrol and over recovery of 23 cents on diesel. These values are still relatively low, and the Ministry thus has revoked to keep the fuel pump prices for June 2021 unchanged. The fuel pump prices in Wolfish Bay will remain at 13 Namibian dollars and 15 cents per litre for petrol and 13 Namibian dollars 18 cents per litre for diesel. The prices across the rest of the country will also remain unchanged at current respective levels, he said. He added that the Ministry of Finance has approved an increase of 7 cents per litre in the road user levy on fuel, which is collected by the Road Fund Administration for road infrastructure financing. The road user levy on both petrol and diesel is currently at 141 cents per litre. The approval of the Ministry of Finance means that the new levy will become 148 cents per litre, effective on the 1st of June 2021, Simon said.
It's time for the economics roundup. Now, a look into the world of sports. The Minister of Health and Social Services, Dr. Kalumbi Shangula, today banned contact sport and reduced the number of spectators at sporting events from 100 to 50, following an upsurge of COVID-19 cases in Namibia.
Amended public health regulations will come into force at midnight on the 1st of June 2021. The midnight leading to the 1st of June 2021. The regulations will enter into force for a period of 4 weeks, starting on the 1st of June 2021 until the 30th of June 2021. Spectators at sporting events are limited to 50 persons per event. It is mandatory for the spectators to comply with public health measures at all times. Contact sports are prohibited. Authorized public gatherings will be reduced from the current 100 to a maximum of 50 people per event, both indoors and outdoors. Public gatherings, including but not limited to weddings, funerals, and church events, have been shown to be responsible for many of the infections. Curfew time will be between 22 hours and 4 hours, as is currently the case. All travelers entering Namibia are required to produce a SARS-CoV-19 2 PCR negative result, valid for 7 days from the date of specimen collection. Antigen rapid diagnostic test results will no longer be accepted for entry into Namibia at our ports of entry. For all travelers coming from or transiting through hotspot regions, such as India, are required to repeat the PCR test 7 days after arrival in Namibia.
Andrea Pirlo has stepped down as the head coach of Juventus after just one season, the Bianconeri confirmed today. Former Juve player Pirlo was appointed as the head coach last summer after Maurizio Sarri's dismissal. In the just-ended season, Juve finished 4th in Serie A and was eliminated in the last 16 of the Champions League. Despite winning the Supercoppa and the Coppa Italia title, it was not enough for Pirlo to convince Juve's management. Thank you, Andrea. These are the first words that all of us need to say at the end of the special Experience Together read statement. According to multiple Italian outlets, Massimiliano Allegri will make his return to Juve while Pirlo is in talks with another Serie A side, Sassuolo. Stand by for your sports roundup. We've come to the end of this newscast. We thank you for tuning in. Give us a thumbs up and share. If you're new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe. Also, click on the notifications bell to stay posted on the latest happenings locally and globally. From myself and the entire team behind the scenes, it's good night.